we've sat here, casted, you know, challenger lane swaps, we've casted, you know, promo tournament lane swaps, and I haven't seen that exact play where you see them coming. Anyway,
now we have
new game, refresh, honesty about mistakes. Sheepy talked about it. Let's see whether that's the case.
Sheepy also mentioned frustration tolerance and whether or not you need that as a top laner. The bans are unchanged for Origen. Rise, Siva, Thresh. Don't change what's not broken. This time around, however, Unicorns of Love, they take away Alistar instead of the Jhin. Alistar was first pick in the last game. Yeah,
and that first pick priority now, where does it go? Amazing. Does he look towards the Nidalee? He played the Kindred last game. Could look to early pick that if they wanted it. Top lane, they may want to take the Poppy away themselves, although Soaz didn't really struggle on the Gragas at all. Wasn't really pressured in any sense of the game.
Yeah, Trundle was still on the board as well, and that would be a Chachi champion. So there's also that ability. So I'm not sure if we're going to see a first pick Poppy. We may see, I don't know, maybe a jungle pickup here. I think I agree with you. Maybe like a Nidalee. Never mind, we're going to see a Poppy. But yeah, Trundle's on the board. Even Maokai some tanks.
I mean, the thing is now, what do you pick into the Poppy? Trundle is available, as you said. I mean, we have started to see Echo. It's the kind of champion that Chachi probably has been playing. I would guess that he's been practicing it. He does like to pull out weird and wonderful things. You and I have had the pleasure of casting Chachi even in the UK scene way back.
In the Yorick days.
Yeah, exactly. All the way back. So
darkest time.
Yeah, very much so, Trev.
we know he's got a lot of versatility in his champion pool, but he doesn't have the strongest pick right now.
All right, for Unicorns of Love, I like the idea of stealing away the Lucian, and it is going to be locked in just a moment's time. Denies that to Zven, so if Zven will have to play something a little different. The Corki is up and available, and Loulex is going to be running a fairly safe and reliant Hylissang, but picking that over the Nidalee, over the Gragas, Loulex is going to be looking for those insect-style kicks to find Zven, most likely, and get rid of him. Also, I think it's a soft counter to a Kindred.
Sure.
At least for one or two of your targets.
Yeah, it certainly has the potential to be like that. When you look at it overall, though, Loulex, just through history, has always been a Lee Sin player, so they're like, okay, well, we need to blind pick the jungle. I feel comfortable on a champion that has early game pressure and at least some kind of utility, so let's just go for the Lee.
Wow, okay. So Gragas gets picked up along with the Trundle, so that takes it away for a potential top lane pick from Chachi. That limits the top lane pool even more. That'll go to support now, and then we definitely know Gragas will go jungle.
And technically, officially, these are all flexes as well. Like,
yeah, very true.
See, like you know, I know we assume that that's going to be the Trundle support Poppy top Gragas jungle. But just saying. There is craziness that could happen.
Just saying.
Yeah, the Gragas is pretty much locked, though, is what I would say. It would be something incredibly surprising to see that change. So now the Unicorns pick themselves a mid-top flex, which they do, but we've been seeing more Gangplank in the middle lane more than anything. We may see it go top lane, but Gangplank into Poppy, not really a matchup that I would want to take for the Gangplank.
Second time that Fox will be running the Gangplank this split. It was a defeat the first time he ran that champion. Not the greatest of performances, 4, 4, and 6. So we'll need to see how he performs and if he can turn that one around. And of course, now for Origin, we're going to find out what Zven's going to run. Jhin was banned in the previous game, so keep that in mind. But there are a lot of threats that could jump onto him. The Lee Sin, the Gangplank ultimate. Of course, Lucian can dodge, duck, and dive all the way around some of those shots.
Yeah, I mean, what's the alternative here? Like, Kallista's open, and that's a Zven champion, and it would be pretty good here. Definitely higher mobility. Jhin changes your playstyle, but there is a really big front line for Jhin. And if mid lane PowerOfEvil wants to play a pokey-type champion, that would also work.
But this would lock you into a heavy physical damage team composition.
Oh, yeah.
There's, you know, semi-magic damage coming out from the Gragas, from the Poppy, but by no means nothing that like the Corki's going to give you, for example, which was open and free, not picked, not touched, and it will be the Jhin Varus.
But there are no true tanks on the side of UOL right now. You do not have that armor-heavy front line, so yes, there is the factor that, okay, you're fairly AD-focused, but without something like a Malphite or a giant tank that can just sit there and soak it, you're going to take a lot of poke damage from this long-range sniper combo.
Yeah, in terms of itemization, it will be tough for Unicorns of Love. They're going to have to change stuff up, and even if they have Loulex going tank, you have the Trundle to sap his resistances. We had a Lissandra final lock-in, which means Gangplank will be going top lane. So we get the Gangplank Poppy matchup. It's not the worst matchup in the world. In fact, Chachi will be able to harass with Parlay, Grasp, the Undying. It's also not the best matchup in the world.
He can harass, but as soon as that's kind of gone, then you have to face off against this Poppy that is just going to constantly want to fight and trade with you. And Vizicsacsi needs to power up. He needs the extra time in the game. We'll have to watch whether this does end up in standard lanes or a lane swap scenario and see how that affects things.
And also important, Chachi has also played Gangplank once this split. So this is something that Unicorns of Love are quite evidently practicing and working on in terms of scrims and the off-stage environment. Let's see if they can make it work better on stage.
Yeah, it's a bold gambit, but we'll see if it pays off.
We will find out shortly. There, of course, was Sheepy and Nico the Pico just shaking hands and walking off stage. Origen 1-0 up. I like his nickname. It's a really cool
name. It rolls off the tongue. It's fun to say.
So, yeah, we'll find out if it's going to help out. PowerOfEvil, of course, is starting again, which I don't actually know if we said when we came back. Sorry about that one. Teams will have up to 5 minutes after the game to decide who the substitution is. You guys know the deal. Jump on Twitter and tell us who you think will win. Origen looking to advance to the semi-finals. I saw amazing tweeting yesterday. Origen versus Fnatic final. Let's do it again. It starts by winning here.
Maybe we're on course for that. Maybe we're getting there. Interesting, well, not interesting, it's just something I was thinking because I was giggling at Nico the Pico. It's a shame he's not a musician or a Dragon Ball Z fan because it could be Niccolo the Piccolo.
Oh, that is meta.
But you know what's not so meta right now?
That?
Origen heading towards the top lane as a 4 or 5 man stack.
Uh-oh. Run! Oh, he's going to have to flash.
Well, there goes the lane.
Yeah, pretty much. That's everything we spoke about up until that point. Well, Soaz will be picking up that ward at least, and Loulex defensive wards are going to have to quickly come down from Unicorns.
Man, realistically now, Chachi has to step into a lane and against a Poppy go, okay, well, I can't trade against you, and now I can't farm without using Parlay, so he no longer really has that option. Chachi, don't go back in here. Don't go in.
Not again.
Don't go in.
Oh, I think he's going to. I've seen this movie. It doesn't end well for Chachi. Origen, they're looking for first blood on Chachi. If this were a check game, knocks over your king, because this might be checkmate. Not done yet. First blood finally secured.
I don't get it. But why, though?
Why did Chachi go back in? This is... it is so rare that you see a player make 2 early game mistakes 2 games in a row. I mean, they didn't have vision enough, so you should just concede the jungle. The rest of your team isn't there to actually push in, and you're against a composition that has a body slam from a Gragas. You've got the knock into the wall from Soaz. You've got the lockdown from Zven. As soon as somebody hits you with anything, you got pushed out of the lockdown, but still, it was fine.
All right, take a look at what this means for the state of the laning phase. Soaz, Zven, Mithy have committed all of their flashes. Chachi is the only one without a flash on the side of UOL. So there are possibilities and opportunities for Loulex. Hold that thought, because Hilly's in trouble.
Yeah, being chased after. Nice deathly flourish from long range. Amazing, still going to get these auto attacks down. This could be a kill.
Power's coming up.
Power's up. He's going to be charging it out.
Oh!
Flash over the wall. Hylissang limps away and is still alive.
I take it back. Hilly has no flash.
Hindsight's 20/20 at that point.
Man,
that flash. Ooh, really with the nerves of steel to hold on to the flash until that very last moment.
What does this mean then for the laning setup? So, Origen initiates the very deep, very aggressive invade. They grab first blood onto Amazing. Small solace for Unicorns of Love. It's worth less gold. It was incredibly early into the game, so it's not super game-changing in terms of gold value. Origen committed 1, 2, 3, 4 flashes already and are in standard lane, so there could be opportunities for Loulex if he finds a way in.
And this is his way in. With all of that movement in the top river, with Gragas showing up there, Loulex knows there's no way that Amazing could be on his red yet unless he really skipped a number of camps and goes there. So Loulex goes, steals away the red, and look at how Lucian and Janna are pushing on the top side. They have this early game push, so it means Loulex has basically secured his own red just from having that pressure in the top lane. It means Loulex can swing back around and basically start with a triple buff.
Yeah, he's actually sat over the wall right now, taking away these raptors. Maybe have to set up a gank onto power, but he's a little too far back. It would have to be instant burst and a flash from Fox, which not going to commit right now. But definitely agree with you guys. Loulex, a lot of the onus is on him in the early game to make something happen. Going to be securing this crab, but the problem is all his lanes are currently pushed, so he just has to farm the jungle and secure vision.
Yeah, looking at that bottom lane where the top laners are currently doing battle, Chachi's got a level advantage, 10 CS in the lead as well. Was able to get into that lane and shove it out just a little earlier, so despite giving up the first kill, Chachi was able to make it into the laning phase a little more comfortably and secure himself some CS and some levels. Amazing's going to sniff around in the middle lane, but not really finding anything close.
No, he's been spotted on a ward as well, so Fox will be playing on the top side of the lane, and Amazing will just be chilling out in the bush for a little bit. Yeah, Australia lanes will continue to go on. Soaz is actually behind in farm for now, and I think that wave is fairly even, so interesting to see that Chachi's actually been catching up, but it was flash for flash, so the same pressure that Soaz would have had if the flash was just down for Chachi has been slightly mitigated.
The reason Chachi is ahead in this lane is after dying, Chachi just ran bot. It was like, well, I don't care about anything else. So Soaz was actually late, and despite getting some experience on the kill, it was a very minor amount. So Chachi had already got that experience back. By the time Soaz shows up, so Chachi hits level 2, manages to shove the wave out, and it was all to do with the timing from Soaz not being able to get down bottom. Didn't want to use his teleport because it's way too early to do that in the standard lane scenario. So ultimately, that's why Chachi is somewhat ahead.
See if Loulex can make anything happen. Zven and Mithy were pushing into the tower, but have backed away wisely. And unfortunately, that window of opportunity where Loulex could have punished no flashes is rapidly running out. My favorite thing to say when I see a tier is that PowerOfEvil is stacking it. It has started. 33 CS to Fox's 37. And that is a fairly signature PowerOfEvil champion, if ever I've seen one. Arguably one of the first Varus players late last year.
Yeah.
A lot of experience on the pick.
Maybe you could argue Faker did it first, but Faker did everything first, so. But yeah, on the opposite side, Fox gone for double Durans, trying to get a little bit more health early. Goes for double cloth armor as well, because it is, of course, a high physical damage team that Origen are running. So if you can mitigate some of that damage, that's what they're looking for. Deadly flourish on the Hylissang.
Root is dead.
He's out of there.
Yeah, it's not done yet. Steelback takes a bunch of shots, run out of mana, and has got some support from Loulex coming in. Zven, relatively low himself, and especially after being tagged by that light slinger, could be in trouble. Just an easy kill for Origen.
We're 6 minutes into this game, and Mithy has hit more pillars on point where they need to be than most supports have done on Trundle in entire games in the European LCS. Like, Mithy's pillars have been so good, and that's something we actually said when he was playing Trundle previously. I think it was like around week 6, week 7 was, damn, Mithy's actually just hitting all of these pillars, landing them exactly where they need to be. So very impressive, again, in this game.
Yeah, just nice mechanics to see. What's happening on the rest of the map? We haven't really looked at mid lane just yet. I'm going to hold that thought for a second, because Loulex, he is in the top lane, and Zven is right up against the wall. That's the Q landing, but I'm not really sure if he wants to go in on this. That's going to be the ward jump back to safety, or relative safety, because Soaz is now closing in from the top side. That's going to be the Q to Soaz. Nice block with the step-fast presence.
Loulex is in trouble. The verdict will be flashed away as he's not rooted in place. A little bit of a chase here from Origen. Hylissang forced to flash defensively. PowerOfEvil's coming to chase up. A flash into the chain of corruption. Loulex is locked down. He'll be able to dash over with that safeguard to a teammate and survive. And Mithy makes it out too. That was close.
Very close, and of course at this point Zven has just hit 6, and he has no vision on Loulex being low. He was just barely off his ultimate, so couldn't quite utilize that long range to get the kill. Ooh, mid lane, so as passing damage just goes, okay, Fox, you can stop pushing now, and runs all the way back bottom. But this has allowed Chachi to get himself a fair amount of farm. Chachi actually recalled and TP'd back to the bottom lane fairly recently and has absorbed a lot of extra farm ahead of Soaz.
Yeah, talking about the teleports, Soaz, Chachi, Fox all used those cooldowns in the recent fight, and I think some props to PowerOfEvil. He was up there for the skirmish really early on, so he left his lane to go and support the team. It has hurt him somewhat in CS, but I think that's important to note because it's not something we really associated with PoE during the early stages of the splits.
We didn't, but at the same time, Loulex was actually pathed out pretty effectively that Origen saw on the vision, on the wards, and that's what allowed Power to start moving top. And it was the same thing that allowed Soaz to drop back in his lane and get the teleport out.
I mean, it's still an early game, though, that Unicorns of Love have 2 TPs, in which you'd expect them to be better at those side lane trades. And when you have those 2v2s, it should be in their advantage. Ultimately not, because of how the early game went.
Exactly. I mean, very rarely in a 2 versus 2 setup against double TP do you want to initiate a fight, because suddenly 2 people appear in your lane and oops, you died. Yeah. That is generally what we've seen happen time and time again. I mean, even teams like CJ Entus have had that happen to them, where they start a 2v2 bot lane fight and KT just double TP'd on us and we're dead. Bugger.
Bugger. That is the most British thing I've heard all week. Now we're going back to our standard laning phase. 1-0 101. Yep, that's what Zven is on currently. And he has that BF sword, 71 farm, looking to scale up like he was last game. This time, Amazing is going to be taking half of that kill gold in this early game at least. And for the rest of this laning phase, I feel like nothing should happen, but then Mithy lands a perfect pillar. Not quite there, but does a little bit of damage, bit by bit, slowly poking them down. Has a big light slinger, and now the ultimate coming in from Chachi. Now with Loulex coming in around the side, this could be a kill setup.
Let's find out. Zven gets tagged. He's taken out by Loulex. Final kill credit to Steelback. Mithy will be the next target. Booted backwards into Fox's waiting hands. 2 easy kills for Unicorns.
Didn't even matter about the TPs right now. Soaz couldn't cross the distance. Gragas was on the bottom side, and PowerOfEvil was late to the movement on this time. Loulex wasn't spotted out until it was way too late, and the Unicorns with a good little invade through the top jungle into the top lane gets them 2 kills.
That's a significant swing. That was a 2,000 gold advantage now, taking that top tower. Mid lane's going to be responded from Origen, but they have another minion wave coming in. They can't clear this one fast enough. Fox is going to be there for wave clear, and Unicorns of Love just get the net game.
Yep, standard lanes, they find a tower dive, and this is going to be a very good replay. Look at the minimap, how early Loulex as well as Fox already moving.
I mean, as soon as Zven doesn't have his W available, it puts him in an impossible position right now. He can't escape down the lane, he can't run back through the minions because the GP ult and he'd tank them up, so impossible without any kind of lockdown, and he gets exhausted because the Unicorns had so much in this fight that it was really always going to be their fight to win.
Yeah, Zven, slight misstep there. He walked forward into Steelback with the shield on top of him and just took the full burst from Steelback, which put him in kill position. Probably would have died anyway, to be honest. Mithy now caught out. Fox following after a W. Doesn't follow up with the ultimate, doesn't have it, and there's a tornado to follow up. PowerOfEvil was going to respond. Probably will get an exit arrow, and that'll be it onto Hylissang.
It got a lot of damage down onto Hylissang, but it is only onto the Janna as she's moving back out of the enemy jungle. So, you know, Unicorns, despite losing Chachi to begin this game, in what looked like a repeat of the last game, have actually hung on very well. They're 2v2. Somehow Hylissang managed to die in the 2v2 earlier, and then Steelback stayed ahead. He's done a good job of keeping himself up in this game, and even before that last fight was heavily up in CS against Zven.
Well, the man that is so farmed and so fed for Unicorns is the target. Chachi's alone in the top lane. No root from the flourish. This pillar blocks off the retreat for Chachi.
Good luck here, buddy. You're gonna need it. Amazing coming in. Soaz against the wall. There's the ultimate now coming in from Jhin, and Chachi, he's a dead man. He'll be going down. Fast kill over to Origen.
He survived for a long time and took out a lot of the minions, and that allows Steelback and Hylissang to push through to the bottom. That's only one ranged creep alive, though, so they can't really push through onto the tower. It's going to have to be the next minion wave.
Unicorns of Love are 21,000 gold to 18,000. That's a 3k lead because of the towers that they've been able to pick up. This time around, the threat or the dives and the moves that Origen are making is at a cost. They now have an advantage, and they're pressuring onto PowerOfEvil.
Nice preemptive flash coming out from PowerOfEvil. He'll get a bit of return damage. Nice Q comes out. Loulex will be going down. Amazing there with the punish along with Mithy. And Unicorns don't get anything in the mid lane. Soaz is trying to make something happen in the top lane. Get out of here, Chachi. This is my turret.
No!
This is my turf.
Chachi gets booted away, but he saves the tower crucially for a few more minutes, and the gold lead is still in favor of Origen. Fox has the Frozen Tomb available, uses it onto Mithy. Mithy gets cold where he stands, flashes away, and one last ice shot takes him out. Amazing, but does not find a body slam onto Fox, and the piercing arrow, fire, not gonna get him. Fox survives.
That was actually dirty. Oh, Deadly Flourish doesn't quite land onto Hylissang. I think we're good. Maybe.
I think so.
He's running up the arrow. Oh, he actually goes for Steelback. The old bait and switch, but he dodges out of it anyway.
Ooh, okay. Okay, we've had a very intense minute of play here with realistically Unicorns getting a little bit, but Loulex got picked off to begin all of it under the tower. Good layering of crowd control. Could have maybe got Fox at the same time, but he didn't aggro it. So watch where the tower aggroes here. Doesn't actually hit onto Fox at all. So Fox is given a little bit of room here to move, but it's Loulex that ends up dying. And ultimately, that kind of sets the tone for what Origen aimed for here. Fox wants to go aggressive, though, at all points in this game. It's a big departure from what we've seen from Fox. Even utilizes the ultimate onto Mithy because they feel like with the culling damage from Steelback, it should have been enough. Steelback isn't confident enough to go forward here because he's seen Amazing come from the side. Finally, he steps forward, but isn't really that confident to go under the tower. It's still too healthy. He can't just take it out. And that means the Unicorns couldn't capitalize on all that damage they got done.
Yeah, this end right here, who am I going to go for? Steelback, but he's got the reactions. It was also really nice from PowerOfEvil. The preemptive flash into the ultimate meant that Loulex only had one way to get out. He couldn't go into the Varus. He had to go towards the guy who'd been infected by the ultimate from PowerOfEvil. He gets locked down, and that's an easy kill.
I'm very impressed with PowerOfEvil in the few games that we've seen already. Just some of his mechanical decisions, the shockwaves. Look, I think he fired a lot, but he found pivotal ones when they mattered.
Agreed.
And for a man like PoE, who we criticized multiple times with regards to his flash usage during the split, it's quite interesting. One thing that is disgusting about this Jhin Varus combo, if someone gets rooted by that flourish, the piercing arrow damage that will follow up will be terrifying. And this time around, we got a bit more of an exciting top lane battle, Stress.
A bit more of an exciting top lane battle, but speaking of PowerOfEvil, you look at the champions he's played. They have been his playstyle. Orianna, Varus, I mean, Game 3, what's it going to be, Syndra? They'll have him playing exactly the style that he wants to play in these games. And it's a bit of a departure because Origen seem to be giving him the room, or seem to have the room for him to play the way he wants to play with these kind of champions. And Zven's doing a lot of work.
Oh, Fox lockdown onto Zven. Loulex is going to punish kick back into the pillar. Mithy wants back, but there's no way he's going to get out. Make that the double for Loulex.
I was saying Zven's doing work. I meant in the last game, because this time he just got dove under tower and gets taken out. So, I mean, Unicorns are still showing that Game 1 hasn't really stuck in their mind right now. They've come out all guns blazing, a little bit of a blip at the start of this game, but Fox has been all systems go. Loulex has been getting into the fights as well. Much more active this game for the Unicorns.
Yeah, and Unicorns take the bottom tower as well. I want to revisit something we were talking about in Champions League, where Zven, he had the option to go Kalista or a different AD carry, something safer, something with an escape. He opted towards the Jhin in the last rotation. And was that the right choice? Died twice in this game. Yes, he's dishing out a lot of damage, but Fox currently is just ulting him every single time. Loulex is there with the punish as well. Will this continue into the mid-game? That remains to be seen.
As long as Fox and Loulex can find a way to take down PowerOfEvil or Zven, you know, dealing with the range, dealing with the poke, they have the tools. The one thing I want to keep my eye on as well is Vizicsacsi. He's got a 1,200 gold advantage, thanks to the 40 CS lead, thanks to the parlay farm, thanks to the towers. But I need to see how he's going to chain barrels together when, if you consider PowerOfEvil and Zven, they want to keep all of Unicorns of Love at arm's reach. They want to put their, palm on Unicorns' foreheads and say, just try swinging me and keep them back.
That's going to hurt a lot, because Unicorns have like a horn on their head. I think that's the best plan, but...
Oh, it's for the greater good,
I'm standing next to you, Pulse. I thought I was putting my hand on your head. So, yeah,
okay.
It didn't work out. But there's a siege in the middle. They've caught Hilly!
Oh, the deadly flourish, the curtain call, the slam against the wall. And Hylissang, he's not going to live this time. All right, that makes me feel a little better about life. And that will be 1-0 over to Origen.
So much was used for the poor Janna.
Oh, Chachi, he's going to step forward once again. Pinned against the wall. Soaz with good positioning. The flourish into the stun. Defensive flash away from Chachi. Loulex and Steelback. That's a three-man route. Origen are in trouble. They've lost Amazing, but where's the damage? PowerOfEvil's managed to back away. Soaz pins Fox against the wall, and Loulex is doing as much work as he can. Soaz tanks up two members of the Unicorns of Love before he flashes away. 1-for-1, and Soaz is running for his life.
Fox is trying to follow after, but he turns it around. Hylissang gets the kill. 360 gold in the bank, and now Steelback is backing off to his tower.
So as 1 versus 2 managed to stay alive, you can see the Origen staff down in the bottom part of your screen. Really happy with Soaz's performance this far in the series. Loulex, he's 1v3, but they are low. I don't think he's got enough to take this.
No, not just yet. If Soaz could have found another heroic charge into the wall, maybe. But just like that, Origen show they can still win fights, despite being down in gold, despite being behind. They find a pick, and then they punish in the following team fight.
Yeah, but look at how much they use on Hylissang. They utilize the Chain of Corruption, then they go in with the Jhin ultimate as well. They use the Gragas ultimate. This is so many of their team fighting tools down and not available. And now they get engaged on. It's Fox coming in from the teleport, and it's what really kicks this off. So Chachi escapes down and out. I mean, Fox isn't going to get a better lockdown than that at such short notice. Manages to get 3. And from here, Soaz is the one that's dealing enough damage to the backline of the Unicorns that they really can't afford to pick up these kills onto Origen's low man base.
No, they absolutely cannot. And I think a lot of praise to Soaz for finding multiple targets, multiple pins. I didn't realize how much Loulex was chasing, and during the course of that replay, Hilly has given up another death. Looking at what's been blown, I think he just
Varus ult.
There you go.
Varus ult, it's deja vu. Looked like it was in the middle lane as well. But Origen now collapsing around mid lane. There goes the GP ult, but look at how low that tower is. They can just step up and take it.
Yeah,
That's exactly what they do.
Core was also used, so those are two big ultimates used to try and throw out the wave and Origen take it. Kachi, I'm not entirely sure why he's there, and I think he's pretty dead. Now the Deadly Flurry comes out, Origen's come out, or oranges. The fruit, god damn it, the fruit, the oranges, the mandarins.
Do you hate fruit as well?
No, I like fruit.
Well,
I like
Soaz hates Fox, has pinned him up against the wall, throws out the hammer to knock him into the air. Soaz gets targeted by the tomb, and a flash away from Fox, or rather that was the glacial path. He manages to get him away to safety. Loulex sidesteps away from the Deadly Flourish and got yet another extended team fight. 20 minutes in, we've got 16 kills, and no signs that this is slowing down.
This is one of the scrappiest games we've seen, and it's actually started to turn into an A-round by the looks of it. Everybody's just sitting in the mid lane going, oh, our ults are up, go, throw them at him, throw, go, fight, everything. It's like a schoolyard. Everyone just throw everything, throw the books, throw the bags. No. At this point, doesn't seem like there's a lot of learning going on. We need order in the classroom, people here.
Order!
This is Hilly falling. No, that's in the court.
Oh. Objection!
Still in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Well, that was just a great play from Soaz. Rather amazing. Using that body slam into the cast, but eventually into the tower kill. So taking stock, right? 21 minutes in. 2,000 gold lead for the Unicorns of Love. They still hold an advantage as far as the towers and the dragon counter is concerned. But they are behind in kills because Soaz has really done some exceptionally impactful plays, pinning down targets from Unicorns.
He has, and the funniest thing is, Soaz is still behind because of how much farm Chachi's got. Chachi's 0-4, but 1,000 gold up. Just because he's farming off
This is Gangplank.
It is. This is actually Gangplank, but he's made some really bad investments, and one of his bonds is actually starting to pay out now. It's the one he put in agriculture.
Well, you need to find out whether or not that bond is going to be enough to take down Origen. Unicorns of Love are still down a game in the series. It is a best of 5, so there's a lot of time for them to pull it back. They've got to deal with this composition that Origen put together.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because Chachi's just been out of position starting off these fights, but he's not getting a lot done. He landed one chain of barrels onto like 2 tanks in that fight and just didn't do a lot of damage. Maybe when he hits 2 items, I mean, of course, that's the big power spike for Gangplank. He's not there quite yet, but he hasn't had a big impact on this game. That will probably change as we go into mid-late game.
Easy tower secured here from Unicorns. Just a show of force. The moment Origen are pushing down bottom and Zven and Mithy were pushing up, instant reply from UOL, but it looks like Origen want a tower of their own.
Yeah, now being chased after. It's got 3-man gang
Lissandra
squad
TP.
coming into the bottom lane. That's the TP as well. Sven's going to lock him down.
And the glacial path comes in, a flash forward from Fox onto Zven, and Zven will be deleted. Vizicsacsi parlays him down. A culling from Steelback, but the hammer comes out from Poppy.
Get out of here, nerds. And now Steelback will follow up. There's the kill. There's the double tap. And Amazing will be backing away. That's 2 kills over to the Unicorns of Love.
That was an uncharacteristic mistake from Zven. The long-range W, you can see we've... that caught me off guard.
Thank you, producers. That was a fantastic shot. All right,
unlike
challenge.
Sven's W.
Piercing arrow for a steal. Piercing arrow for a steal. No, too early. Smited away by Loulex.
Yeah, Zven, I kind of want to watch... We're going to have a replay of that coming. I'm pretty convinced. There we go. With Zven, that's within a screen's length. Okay, if that was...
blind.
Yeah,
no, you see the particle.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of knew, but uncharacteristic from Zven. And ends up dying for it, means that Origen don't really have enough damage to take the rest of this. Fox has been playing really well this game, by the way. His lockdowns, his target prioritization has been very good so far. He's been involved in 8 of the 9 kills for Unicorns so far, and he's going for one again. Chachi with the second TP coming through.
I'm not going to be quite in range. Ambitious.
Optimistic.
Didn't quite land that time.
Point for trying.
Point, yeah, point for
However,
Deadly Flourish onto Fox, and that's going to be a self-ult there. Amazing coming in from the side to try and punish, but Loulex is going to follow him all the way over the wall. That's an ultimate coming across just in case Fox decides to follow up. Loulex, he just probably want to make himself scarce. In the mid lane, Steelback, he's getting chased down.
The dancing grenade bounces across the minion line. Steelback's able to QSS his way to safety, and it's a kill picked up by Chachi. Now Chachi's running for his life. The piercing arrow tags Fox, and he'll take the path to safety. Amazing goes down with a body slam, so they've replied with one back. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Origen.
2-for-1 for Origen, but look at how low Unicorns are. They have to back themselves away. Amazing is fairly healthy. Soaz has enough health. They can swap the aggro now on this Baron, and there's no real response with Loulex still dead for 13 seconds. He can't get here, and it's an easy enough play just to swap aggro, get themselves the Baron, and Origen are fighting back in this game.
It's going to be on this tornado from Hylissang, but shot in the dark really actually just
Ever
missed the
the
Baron.
optimist, my friend.
I was going to say shot in the dark, but Baron doesn't change position.
No,
Baron
that
just
is very true.
implemented juking in 6.6, just like a wacky.
Yeah, he goes back down, comes back up, it's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, exactly. So this was the beginning of this, or the middle of this fight, where Loulex ultimately would end up dying. This is amazing. Body slam flash, and he's down. So honestly, from here, it was just business as usual. You would expect this kind of cleanup to come through. Power, however, doesn't quite have the full charge on that, but Chachi dies now.
And again, I just want to praise Soaz finding those heroic charges into the wall. I know it sounds like an easy fix. We'll get back to that. As Amazing is in some trouble. Pella comes out from Mithy. Amazing eats, I think, every single bullet from the culling, but it's not enough to cull him. Fox goes down. Piercing arrow will not drop him, though. And with Baron still active on 5 members, Origen will be relatively happy. They're still 2,000 gold down, but the stats from Baron will even that out.
Yeah, I appreciate the thought coming in from Unicorns of Love. Try and be the aggressors on Origen before they hit the towers, because as soon as they get there, they're going to be like a siege engine. They're just going to take down those towers. They're going to push them into their base. So trying to stop them before they get there is a smart play. They just didn't pick up.
Especially with those champions. Like, you do not want to be under a tower. It is shooting fish in a barrel for both Jhin and Varus when Unicorns try to defend.
But if Unicorns can get the aggressive play onto Zven and PowerOfEvil in the next couple of minutes, neither of them have flash.
Yeah.
Neither of them can actually survive a full-on onslaught. There is a QSS, however, on Zven, so he should be able to keep himself alive. Soaz is playing the zoning ult.
Yeah, it's going to be able to at least get the tower low. Fox has a teleport available if it's needed. Curtain call for 1, 2, 3 misses. And the 4th will tag Hylissang, but the tower will drop shortly. Chain of Corruption onto Unicorns.
Amazing is going in, and Vizicsacsi is going out. Fox into the backlines will pop his ultimate. Loulex over the wall. Lands the kick onto Soaz, but doesn't chain it into anything else. Amazing comes in. There's the double over to Soaz, and Steelback will also be going down. The triple, looking for the quad. That will be taken up by PowerOfEvil, and now Loulex is in full retreat. He will be getting away here, but this should be major damage to the Unicorn's base.
With the Baron buff still on Origen, it could even be critical. There is no minion wave yet. 30 seconds still remain on the death timers. It's 100% inhib, but I don't think Loulex is enough to stop Nexus towers going down here.
How confident are Origen? They're looking at the Nexus, gonna back this one away. 20 seconds before Unicorns would be all back to life. 7,000 gold Baron power play. They have turned this game on its head and are in absolute control now.
Yeah, nice rounding, mate, but still, it's a really good advantage for them. We're going to see that last team fight once again.
Yeah, we're going to see it, and look at Fox's positioning as he goes in. So Chachi manages to tangerine himself out of the chains of corruption. Fox goes in, lands the Ring of Frost. Zven didn't even pop his QSS in that. He was just like, well, no other damage threat is following up. I can just reposition in this fight. Triple kill for Soaz. Scumbag PowerOfEvil's like, well, if I get a couple of kills, maybe they won't trade me out on this game.
He still hasn't died.
He's had a really good series.
Yeah.
He actually has. Did he die in the first game?
I don't think
I think he was like 3-0 and something, and now he's 2-0 and 10. It's pretty good.
Infinite KDA.
Yeah, very good thus far. 45 seconds until the next dragon is up. Unicorns have got 2 of them already. There's some team damage stats for that previous fight. Not a real surprise. PowerOfEvil and Zven just putting the hurt down. Steelback had to run back so much, he didn't get a chance to put autos down.
The irony is that Soaz did the lowest amount of damage out of the carries and picked the triple kill. Almost picked up the quad. It was like, oh, all these targets are one hit. Pop, and then...
Kill secure is the terminology. And that is exactly what's happening this time around. Once again, Soaz with the secure, but we may have a base race on our hands. Unicorns of Love, they're pushing down the middle lane. They've got the inhibitor in a turret. And Origen are about to take this top inner turret.
Origen, as soon as that GPL came through, got slowed down, and now we're into a base race situation. Origen, they're umming and ahhing about the recall.
Oh, there's a fight going on. Soaz is caught.
Soaz is locked down. There's the culling across to try and provide support, some cover fire maybe. Chachi's going to be backing away. Nice flash out of the way by Hylissang. Maybe could have rode the wave there. And Soaz is now chasing onto Vizicsacsi. Meanwhile, PowerOfEvil gradually taking down these towers. But back onto this fight as Chachi is backing away into the bottom side. Hylissang is backing away to the top side. But this is a TP
behind him.
Looking to close in. The pincer movement from Soaz.
Soaz wants another. He's looking for his 7th kill of the game. Throws out the buckler. Doesn't pin Chachi to the wall, but it does not matter. Yet another kill secure. PowerOfEvil will give up his life for the cause. He's unable to take one back in reply, and the rest of Origen will be happy with defending their base, taking an inhibitor turret, and looking for their dragon.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was going to say they ultimately lost only the turrets from it. It was still a Nexus turret going down in favor of Origen.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. They did an okay job defending their base, but they have an open inhib in the bottom lane is dead. Top lane is actually open. And now Unicorns of Love are still on the back foot. And they've been on the back foot for basically the whole series. There hasn't really been a point in this series so far that Unicorns of Love have been in the driver's seat. Origen have controlled the early game, and I've got to say, it was the ripple effect from Chachi just getting caught out in the early game in both games. He's died a bunch this game. All right, he's Gangplank, he scales up, but he still hasn't had an impact because of the multiple times he's been caught out on an individual level.
This time, though, Unicorns were doing well after that. Despite getting caught, Unicorns were looking good aggressively with Loulex. Fox was having a great set of positioning in teamfights, locking down multiple people. The problem was that started to not become enough. PowerOfEvil caught out Hylissang twice, 3 times in the mid-game, and it was enough to crack open the initial towers. They got past the mid lane. They kept landing the long-range abilities, and Origen just got a couple of these small skirmishes, and it added up to the point where Origen started to take the lead. They then got the Baron, and that's what turned the game in their favor.
And something you also have to point out, that Gangplank was picked up in the 2nd rotation for Unicorns of Love. It was their 3rd pick. There had been no damage dealers locked in for Origen because Origen went for their tanks. They went the Trundle, Gragas, as well as Poppy. Once the Varus and the Jhin had got locked in, it makes it so difficult for effective barrels because both Varus and Jhin outrange those barrels in the multi-chain. So, there's very little threat for the primary carries of Origen.
But that was where the Lissandra pick came out. Oh, they got Steelback.
Loulex is going to have to body block, and actually that's not hurting as much as I thought it was going to. That's actually okay. I'm fine with this.
Tankier than you would think, but he's been able to itemize some armor. We talked about, can they actually itemize armor with this? Well, yeah, they have got the Dead Man's Plate, Ninja Tabi coming out as well. So those initial shots not really hurting from Zven.
Not this time round.
Chachi will be walking away, but now they're not in a good place. That's not their side of the map. That was a good barrel onto Mithy and PowerOfEvil. Quick culling over the wall. Fox is looking for this engage. He's going to go for Mithy. See if they can burst down this tower as fast as possible, or this target rather. Loulex is going to kick Soaz away, but quite ineffectual. Hylissang is going to go down for the first goal of the fight, and Amazing and the rest of the team are in full chase.
There is just so much distance between Zven and PowerOfEvil. They were never at threat. For Fox to use the ultimate onto the support, it is just not good enough. Unicorns lose 2.
Yeah, Fox could not get himself deep enough into the fight, and he's having to still run away from Soaz. Flash over the wall!
Oh, it's not done yet. Soaz is going to lob the buckler into Fox's face in a minute. There's support coming down, but Soaz wants to fight.
Well, he's locking up 2 people. He will go down to Steelback, but if Origen can capitalize on this will be worth it. Zven is looking for Loulex. He's still very tanky, but he has to ward jump away, and Zven is still looking for him. He's reloaded his ammo, and now he's going for 4. There's 1, there's 2, looking for the last one. Lands it. The minion wave comes past and high fives on the way out. Zven will be going back to base in style.
Zven says, do you feel lucky, punk? And apparently, no, Loulex is not his lucky day. Baron even went over to Origen at the same time. And this was just a much better fight from Origen, kiting up through the jungle. We didn't see Fox get the lockdown that he needed to. Soaz didn't even hit his ultimate on this one. You can see Fox got body blocked back out of the fight, and Origen just positioned in a way that Fox can never get in. From here, it's an easy turnaround from Origen. And, I mean, Soaz runs all the way down the river. There was an eerie silence during me and my headset, so...
because of how much damage Whisper was doing.
I should have said it like this, though.
Well, yeah, Unicorn's trying to clear out this mid wave. But I need to start criticizing Loulex's picks though, because he's been landing a lot of them on the front line, trying to get them into the back line, obviously because it does more damage if the target has higher health. But he's missed like 3 in a row, which really haven't done very much.
I thought you were going to talk about his shoes then. I was going to be like, what are those?
What are those shoes?
Not this time round, gentlemen. The gold graph swinging back in favor of Origen, thanks to a gigantic part of 2 Barons. Top lane and bottom lane inhibitors are exposed, and Origen have got about 1 minute and 40 seconds with the Baron on 4 of their members. Soaz was down because he was chasing both Fox and Steelback away. So let's see if they play multiple lanes. They've tended to stick together, using their poke, using their front line very effectively, and it seems to be what they'll continue to do as they pressure Unicorns back.
Yeah, I mean, Unicorns are just straight up on the back foot here. And they're just looking for a pick. They're looking for Origen to make a mistake because really they're not in control of this game. It's 4,000 goal differential, but in terms of pressure, it's way, way different. As Origen is just trying to push into the base, they're chipping away at this inhib, and eventually Unicorns are never going to crack.
Yeah, honestly, Unicorns don't really have enough to deal with multi-waves of Baron up minions, but they're only being pushed in on 2 really at this point. Origen haven't pushed the bottom lane through, so it means Steelback does have enough here.
Well, Loulex is trying to make a play here. Fox has gone in from the side, but the instant exhaust will stop him from doing anything for a while. And Chains of Corruption comes across. And the volley fire from the backside, will it be enough? Hylissang, he's dropping low. Loulex takes a big shot, will be jumping towards Fox to try and get an out here. And Origen keep up the chase. Hylissang goes down. Steelback will have to back away. And now Origen push into the base.
PowerOfEvil and Zven are always so far away. Unicorns just no longer have the tools to get to them. They knock down an inhibitor and they're pushing onto the middle tower as well.
Yeah, this one will be going down. Amazing, looking for engage to happen. He's zoning away. Fox is thinking about going in there. So he'll be dropping back to the back lines real quick. Loulex jumps in, but decides better of it. Will back away. Chachi is actually chunked very low. And Origen looking for their second inhib.
It looks like they're going to get this one if they stick around. There is blinking health bars dropping below 50%. Another culling.
Chachi's coming.
Oh, let's find out if we can find anything. Loulex is looking for a solid wave.
This could be a big punish. Soaz will go down. That will be the second kill going on to PowerOfEvil. The double kill for Steelback. Chachi flashes after. Defensive ultimate from amazing Loulex. He needs to connect this resonating strike if he wants another kill. Zven is looking to back him up. He goes for the quick sidestep, and Chachi will stop chasing these guys down.
Just denies with a long-range crowd control attempt there, but Steelback, before that 6-1, was able to just start chunking down people at the end. You cannot really underestimate how much damage he has.
35-second death timers for 2 members of Origen. Zven is trying to use the curtain call to put some damage down. But look at the supers. They're going to be pushing through the middle and the top lane shortly. This can help Zven and Mithy defend.
And also, look at the big wave bottom lane. Somebody has to go down there to deal with that first, so it allowed Unicorns at least the room to take down the inhibitor for now. They drop back. They're going to take a 3rd dragon of the game for themselves. It's not that big of a factor right now, but if this game is as scrappy and continues to be for a while longer, it may be a factor, but I think this is going to end before the next dragon comes up.
The gigantic problem that UOL have to deal with is supers now knocking on their front door while simultaneously dealing with all of the range that OG have, and they only have 1 Nexus tower. That is all that stands between their final objective. And yes, again, Fox looking for an engage, but Zven and PowerOfEvil, they're miles away.
Yeah, he was looking for Mithy in this, even has the ultimate himself. You can see the damage that comes from Zven. It's not surprising from a Jhin this late in the game. Nearly gets himself Loulex from this, but now Origen start to move forward. And Hylissang just has not had a great game this game on this Janna. He has been caught out multiple times. At that time, not really his fault. He stood in the middle of a fight and gets hit by about 4 different long-range abilities, so couldn't really have positioned too much better in that scenario, but certainly the lead-up to where we've got to in this game hasn't really been that great from Hilly.
Well, OG, they stick around a little, maybe longer than they needed to, focusing on trying to poke down Unicorns of Love. But Loulex and Steelback, they get a lot of damage on PoE. Look at him getting chunked by that culling.
I mean, the biggest thing there was the fact that Chains of Corruption didn't land. That maybe would have saved one of them at least, but they just got chased down from there because they had no CC to keep them at range.
Origen managed to turn around that big wave bottom lane, now looking for the push because they know that top is going to push in their favor, and as long as somebody goes to deal with mid, which they haven't yet, as long as they can push mid slightly, it'll come in at the same time as that top lane. So they do have to compete with mid lane super minions, but should be able to push up towards this bottom lane inhibitor. They also want to just shove it in so that it gives them the freedom to go and ward for Baron in a minute.
Something else you have to mention is the fact that so twice very early game, but that's 2 games in a row now where Fox and Chachi just haven't had the impact you're looking for. Soaz has got his TP available while he's dealing with Unicorn super minions in the middle lane. And this is league by the numbers. Push out the last remaining lane into the inhibitor. And we'll see if they can take that last remaining objective.
But look at the wards that were established by the Unicorns during that time. They got 2 or 3 people over and they secured complete vision through the top side jungle, which with the 2 inhibitors down top side of the map, you would expect Origen to freely be able to move through that. They haven't even looked at controlling that area yet with, you know, pink wards, with sweepers. Origen don't actually have any pink wards in their inventory right now, and only have 1 on the bottom side.
As I can see 2, 1 in the lane and 1 by the blue buff.
I'm looking
on the side of Origen. So.
Ah yes, I see the one in the lane.
Not a lot is the point we're trying to make.
Spotting?
Right. So I was reading off the minimap and they were standing over the portrait, but like that's not really granting you the Baron vision. And it's coming up now, and Origen need the Baron realistically to push in definitively.
Oh, Soaz actually cheekily takes that barrel down. There is some support from the damage dealers of Origen, as both PowerOfEvil and Zven have made it out of the base. Chopped up, and there's 1 pink ward in the inventory. We've got a team fight!
Amazing goes in there, pops the ultimate, blasts back a lot of the targets. They'll all be going down. He's so tanky, but Unicorns of Love made him look like paper. That will be the lockdown, and Hylissang once again, he's under fire. Loulex is trying to body block, but instead, the chains of corrosion will keep him in place. Soaz should be disengaging here, and the rest of Unicorns back away. They're ping towards the top tower. They need to defend that in-hit.
But without the jungler, Origen cannot reliably go for the Baron right now. They're moving for it because they've seen where Unicorns have had to position. This is risky. This suddenly becomes a 50-50 if they start it. They have to bait more than anything. They've started it. Loulex is now crossing through the jungle. TP coming in through the middle lane. Unicorns are going to try and throw everything at this, and Origen have to pull back.
Wisely, Origen back away. I don't think they had the vision control to confidently stay on the objective. 25 seconds until Amazing has respawned and can rejoin the team. Fox has held onto his teleport, but he's left the base. So the home guard speed boost is no longer available for him to lock down a single target. And actually just looking at it, PowerOfEvil has not opted for a QSS as a final item. So it is Baron being started.
Still Amazing step
by the Unicorns of Blood. This is going to get scary. Origen in a 4v5, they've got him!
Oh, Hylissang, he's so low, and he'll drop at the very start of this fight. Loulex is going deep onto power, but that'll be a flash backwards. Zven looking for this kill onto Chachi. Opens up with a curtain call.
It's not over yet. Curtain call will miss on the second shot. Cancelled after the third. Steelback's got 1 onto Mithy, but it gets down. Chachi, follow-up, as well as Steelback. There's no more damage for the Unicorns of Blood, and a golden fox is sent packing. Origen have 4 members alive against only Loulex, and they're looking for the base.
So as TPs to the bottom lane, they want to push this one in. The death timers are long enough that all they really need is 1 wave of minions, and they can close this game. It's only Loulex that is alive. This is deja vu. Last time Origen didn't want to take it. This time they've got enough.
Loulex has caught. The Deadly Flourish doesn't land, but the rest of the CC should. Even if he escapes here, they're going to be closing in for the win. There's the ace going over to Zven. PowerOfEvil will clear out the rest of these inhibs and look for this final tower. Hylissang, he's going to try and defend, but there's not much he can do. This should be going over to Origen with this massive minion wave.
They're not done yet. They want to get 1 more kill. Hilly's doing the best he can. And you know what? Points for effort. But OG have done it.
OG with that final move will be calling checkmate.
Game 2 of the series, not quite as crisp for Origen. It looked to be great in the very, very early part of the game before Chachi, after dying, managed to get himself back in with a good lead on this Gangplank. But, oh man, it was touch and go. A couple of picks for Origen turn this game around. They get the Baron. They start pressuring down on Unicorns, and it looked maybe like Unicorns could, you know, rally behind Steelback, who had a great game, but it just wasn't enough.
You cannot forgive the number of times that either Fox or Chachi were caught out of position in the mid-game. Because yes, Chachi and Unicorns have built up a very sizable lead. It was around 3,000 gold. As the pressure came onto that mid-turret during the ARAM period of the game, Chachi he was in the river, and then he was, you know, in the jungle, and just multiple times was easily collapsed on.
Yeah, I can understand it though, because he was looking for flank opportunities, because he doesn't want to go from the front and land those barrels onto the front line, because he was literally just doing no damage. He wants to try and get a barrel onto someone in the back line, but it just ultimately meant that he kept getting called out, and that was a major problem in that game.
Absolutely major problem. So Unicorns will have down 2 games. Let's go over to the analyst desk and let's talk about Origen being on match point.